I really just think that I love being able to share like what I wish I knew. And I've spoken to a few younger club players and club teams and coaches, and just giving them advice for things that I had wish I knew before college. And not to get like too into detail, but I always like worked out like crazy. I was always prepared. I practiced a lot. I did everything I could to be like the best student athlete possible. But I just don't think going into college, like I was eating properly. And I used to, even throughout the club circuit when I was younger, like I would go run midi like 7 games in a row on a 100-degree day. And like, I'd come home and I would be like sick. I'd be shaking. I'd be passing out. And like, I just thought that was because I worked really hard. I didn't know that there was a way that like, you didn't have to feel that way. Like you can go put all your energy out there and do all these things and like not be sick by the afternoon. So when I got to college, I think it just took a lot of experimenting for me to see what worked for myself, how I knew I had the proper nutrition. I was not just taking in enough calories, but I was eating like the right foods, just things that would, provide me energy and then recovery, and really just utilizing my past experiences is what I try to just help out with anybody that, I see now, whether I work with them with lacrosse or I just, I meet them just, I don't know, in my town, but I just try to, give them a little bit of tips on things that they can do to get ready, whether it's heading into college or while they're in high school or middle school.
That's awesome. I love that. And I think more and more people are starting to realize nutrition is a huge key to success on the field. So I guess for you personally, so do you have a 7-day plan or do you go day to day? What does your daily day look like in terms of food?
I'm somebody that like can easily get like too organized with things. So I try to just, eat what I feel like eating, but I am smart about my choices. So I have the biggest sweet tooth. I'm gonna probably have a dessert every single day, but I make it so that, it's just like a small part of my day. If I really want something, I have it. Usually I like to have protein shakes post-workout, which is something I never had before. I think in the past it was kind of just like I worked out and then like I ate the next time I was like hungry, versus now I'm like more actively choosing the right things to have. So in a normal day, I wake up super early. I always have, but now I have a puppy and like he doesn't sleep. So I'm up at like 4:30 in the morning. And I'll usually try to get my workout in at the start of my day. So my like go-to thing is like medjool dates with a little bit of almond butter. It's like it just gives me energy. It's something that I love. I tell everyone about it. I'm like, you have to try it. It sounds gross. So I have that. Then I do my workout, have a protein shake, and then I really just I'll have lunch and dinner. But in between, if I'm hungry, I make sure that I'm snacking. I try to, if I know I'm going to work out, I try to have a carb with a protein, add healthy fats throughout my day, tons of vegetables. And I'm somebody that is, I wouldn't say I'm vegetarian or vegan, but I tend to really like a lot more of plant-based foods. It just makes me feel better. So I do that, but also occasionally with my family, we have, the steak, chicken, shrimp, seafood. So I really eat a lot of everything. I don't have a set plan, but I just try to, like I mentioned earlier, just be more active in choosing the right types of food to eat and things that would really benefit me.
You mentioned experimenting with stuff through college when it came to nutrition.
Yeah.
Was there anything that you tried that like didn't work out for you, or how did you kind of get into it and start like educating yourself when you first got into the nutrition stuff? And what were kind of like resources that you leaned on, or how did you kind of get into it and start getting?
So I think I was just like a little bit naive about everything. I played a ton of different sports growing up. And I don't know what it was, but like in the back of my mind, I was like, when I have candy before I play, I feel better and I have energy. So I literally used to just eat like Caesar salad and candy growing up. Like it's ridiculous. Like, I don't know why I did that for so long. And obviously that wasn't going to sustain me when I got to college. So I all of a sudden, I think, tried to be like super like, I'm eating grilled chicken and vegetables because I'm supposed to do that. It's good for you. And that wasn't sustainable either because I didn't like it. I was forcing myself to eat these foods that I thought I had to eat. And then I tried being like adding avocado to everything. And then I found out I had an avocado allergy. Just like a lot of crazy things happened. And then eventually I just was like, all right, if I have, I don't know, almond milk felt better to me than regular milk, things like that. I just kind of just tried it all out and it worked. At USC, we had awesome nutrition resources. We had nutritionists that were part of the staff and definitely asked them questions. But I'm somebody that's very much so like, I want to try it and figure it out on my own. So I probably didn't use my resources as much as I could have. So again, that's something that I try to stress to other people, to use your resources more than I did, because I probably could have figured it all out way earlier.
Beautiful.
So I guess I'm looking at the Instagram and some of the food just looks amazing. So it's AJ7 Health.
Oh yeah.
So what's your staple in terms of like food per day, or like leading up to a game? I guess 36 hours. You have like a staple for like food you want to eat prior to your game day?
I'm definitely one of the like toast with banana and peanut butter kind of person, but I like to have like smoothies in the morning. So if I were to have like a game in the afternoon, I would definitely have a green smoothie in the morning, and then before the game I would have some sort of carb and protein. So either whether it's like toast, banana, and peanut butter, or almond butter. I love sweet potatoes as well. I found that's a huge part of my diet. So probably add sweet potatoes in there. But I'm very like, I like sweet things, so I try to even make like savory foods sweet, if that even makes sense. Yeah. So if I have a sweet potato, I'm not having it how most people will. I'm putting like almond butter and honey and cinnamon on it. I'm just making I like sweet things. So if I have a game, it's probably what I'm going to stick to.
So now you have your pregame stuff in order to give you energy. Do you have a postgame in terms of like your sweets or something?
Yeah. So when I was in college, like you go to the tailgate after, I only ate like the pumpkin bread and banana breads and things like that. And now I try to be a little smarter. The first thing that I do after a game is I'll just have a protein shake, so that I know that at least I'm getting that in, I'm getting some recovery. And then when I go make the other decisions of what I want to eat, it's okay, because I just did play a game and I got in my protein, and now I can, go treat myself.
Right. I was actually talking with someone today or yesterday morning about like just recovery sake, because our tournament's coming up and it's like a 3-week program. Yeah. You have to the recovery process is the biggest part. And he was talking about like creatine, and like it's one of like the biggest things to help recovery. Do you know anything? Have you ever taken it or anything like that?
I haven't taken it. I did learn about it in my class. We had a presentation once. Creatine is definitely it's the best supplement you can have if you take it properly. So like if you were to go by like the proper quantities and the timing, it's awesome. It definitely is something that's going to build strength quick and help your muscles with recovery. I stick to more like the plant-based proteins. I don't know why. I have no reason. I think I just like the way it tastes. So I'm always having Vega. And I like Vega Sport because it has it also promotes recovery. It has cherry juice in it, which is huge for recovery, and just like a few other things. Obviously it's all natural because it's plant-based. So that's kind of what I stick to. I know that athletes who are like powerlifters and things like that, creatine is huge for them. But I'm not so much for lacrosse. For female lacrosse players, I don't think it's really necessary, but I can see for male lacrosse players, especially with what you're, prepping for, it could be huge.
Nice. And then you've mentioned a couple of times, I've heard you say, female athlete versus male athlete. What do you think is the biggest difference in terms of nutrition for a female athlete to focus on that maybe a male athlete wouldn't have to focus on, or vice versa?
I would just say like your goals. So I think female athletes have to make sure that they're not taking in enough calories. Like they need to take in more calories than they think is enough. Like a lot of times, like I just feel like depending on who you're around. So when I'm at home, like all my best friends at home, nobody played sports in college. They're not really athletes. But then if I'm with my school friends from USC, like we all like kind of eat the same way, and we know it's normal to have all the same amount of calories. And again, I'm not like, I don't count calories. I'm just using it as a general statement. But I just feel like if I were to compare myself to my friends at home who don't have the same active lifestyle as I do, I just would not be consuming enough. So I just think like when you think of females, it's a little bit more specific because I think that they tend to try to have too little instead of, you know, not being afraid to have what you need and what your body's telling you need. And I think males, I just think the sport's a little bit different. So I think in men's lacrosse, obviously there's a little bit more contact there is in female lacrosse. In women's lacrosse, they have to be able to take a little bit more hits, hit more. Maybe they probably need more muscle mass on their body than we do. As a midi, I think in women's lacrosse, I'm probably doing a ton of running. So I'm not really trying to bulk up, but I'm trying to be super strong as well as quick and have the endurance. So there's just so many different aspects, I think, that goes into, you know, what your goal is as an athlete, and nutrition is really specific to that. So I wouldn't say like there's really such a difference between males and females, but I just think it comes more to like the mindset when it comes to eating and the ideals that are around it.